I think it's time we talk about Bukayo Saka and how good he actually is. He's often in a way too good that we don't give him the credit he deserves. But before I get into everything, please, if you're new here, subscribe, like this video as well, and turn on those notifications so you never miss a video again. So without further ado, let's just begin and just start about Bukayo Saka and his early Arsenal career. I think everybody remembers when Bukayo Saka was the only threat and the only piece of quality in our lineup. When we were in the COVID season, we'd always look towards Bukayo Saka to kind of lift the boys, create opportunities, score chances. He was kind of the light in the darkness, and we often don't appreciate where he's come from and where he is now. And I see a lot of criticism towards him, and it's just so unfair. This guy promised us as Arsenal fans the famous tweet, "You deserve more Arsenal fans." You just know the mentality, the quality, and the belief in his own ability that he'll get things done. And ever since that tweet, it has just seen Arsenal go on an upwards trajectory. And it's just incredible how one player can do that. We, of course, had the likes of Smith Rowe as well, who were very good in that period. But it was Bukayo Saka, the guy that really showed his quality for our club. You know, he's just a player of constant improvement. And I hear debates, Foden, there was a time where it was Brandon Williams even, and now it's Cole Palmer, where every player gets compared to Saka. He is the benchmark, and every time people put a player to compare to Saka, they're often shown that Bukayo Saka is way better than them. And it's just incredible to see, really. And I'd like to talk about his performances for England as well and compare them to Phil Foden. That just shows how good Bukayo Saka is. Phil Foden is a wonderful player without a shadow of a doubt. But for me, you get to see how good someone is when you bring them out of an environment that is very comfortable for them. You just throw them into a team and you say, "Come on, kid, show your ability." And England have Bukayo Saka, who's always showing up, always showing his quality. And people, for some reason, want him dropped. And it really does make me think, do we not hype Bukayo Saka enough? Because the sort of stats he's given up for club and country is ridiculous. If we're talking about England, he has 27 goal contributions in 24 starts for England. That is no joke. He's averaging over a goal and assist per game, and that is just some sort of record that not even the best players that have played for England get. And we must not forget that he's 22 years of age. He's still so young, and he's taken up this responsibility. He's bringing out these numbers that you would want and see from seasoned pros. You know, Phil Foden's only scored 2 goals for England, and you're looking at Bukayo Saka, somebody who's the second highest goal scorer in the current England Euros squad. It just shows how good he actually is. Even when we're looking at his stats for Arsenal, it's just a straight upward trajectory. In the 2019-20 season, 26 matches, 1 goal and 5 assists. In the 2020-21 season, 32 matches, 5 goals and 3 assists. It even gets better from there. In 21-22, 11 goals and 7 assists. Again, in the 22-23 season, 14 goals, 11 assists. And then the recent season that has just passed, 16 goals and 9 assists. Every single season, he's bettering himself, and that's a sign of a player who wants continued improvement and wants to really show that he is the best. I'm even looking at pundits as well, the likes of Rio Ferdinand, who have the opportunity to, hype a player of Saka's quality, and they just aren't doing it. Rio even said Saka is not world class. He is an English player. He's got so much quality. Why not hype him up? Why not overrate him? Maybe he deserves it. He has the numbers to back it, and he has the performances for his country to back it as well. And I just feel like we often ignore how good a player is because they just produce every time we watch them. We don't want to become too comfortable and just be like, this is normal, because this isn't normal for a player. I saw a stat as well. At 22, he had more goal contributions than Ronaldo in his early Manchester United career. And I'm not saying that Saka is anywhere near the level of Ronaldo, but what I'm saying is, look at the players he is comparing up against. We see these debates, Cole Palmer, Foden, brilliant players, but Saka is really providing, quality output against the greats of the game. And I feel like the most beautiful thing about Bukayo Saka is he's a Hale boy. Came straight out of the academy. We've seen him grow from the minute he stepped onto the pitch to now, and it's just brilliant to see. We almost are all fathers to Bukayo Saka, all parents to him, because we want him to do well. We want him to, continue showing the quality and the ability he has. But nobody seems to appreciate it. Like I've said, And maybe it is because we don't hype him off enough, or maybe people are just unaware of the number he's putting up. Because I think if we're talking in particular this game against Serbia, where Bukayo Saka was absolutely scintillating, he was beating his man, he just looked like a different player on that pitch, and you kind of felt sorry for the fullback of Serbia, and everyone was getting surprised. I was seeing tweets where, you know, Bukayo Saka, wow, why do people violate Bukayo Saka? He's this good. And it just got me thinking, how is it only now that people are starting to see how good Bukayo Saka is because he's in an England shirt, and then when he goes into an Arsenal shirt, it's almost like he's average and he's uncomparable to the other players in his position. It isn't right for that to happen for a quality player, humble guy. Everybody loves Bukayo Saka, and I think that's one of his best assets and attributes. He's a loving, humble guy. Everyone wants to be friends with him. Everyone, you know, sees him as this person they want to be around. We look at Luke Shaw, for example. Every time he speaks about Bukayo Saka, you should see the smile on his face. It's just beautiful, you know. You can just see that he has this energy that's so positive and just brings and uplifts every player around him. You know, I even looked at, you know, coaches that have spoke about Bukayo Saka, and Guardiola at Manchester City is somebody who said, we had to adapt the way we play for wingers like Bukayo Saka. You know, we see Pep playing Ake at left back. We see him playing centre halves in those fullback areas. It's to deal with dangerous players like Saka. Because if you give them room and if you give them confidence, they'll just skin you, and they'll just provide so much, you know, creativity, so much quality in the final third. And, you know, he demands that respect from the opposition. That's why he gets kicked so much. It's because everyone knows if you give him half a yard, he will absolutely destroy you. And, you know, you see fullbacks, players, it doesn't matter who it is, when they talk about Bukayo Saka, they're always talking about, don't give him space, make him uncomfortable, get onto him, you know, make it a really, really tough game for him, because if you don't, you're going to suffer. And you know what the scariest thing about Bukayo Saka above everything is the fact that he still can improve. He's not even at, you know, his peak of his career, the 24, 25, 26, 27, you know, not even reached even the middle part of his career, you know. So there's so much he can learn, and there's so much, you know, Arteta can still teach him to become an even better winger. And I feel like once he really does hit that peak, and we can see that this is the best version of Bukayo Saka, it's going to be a problem for every other opposition player, whether that be for club, whether that be for country. And, you know, people will just start having to appreciate him because he's just producing every single time you watch him. Anyway, that's it for now. Let me know what your thoughts are. For me, Saka is definitely one of the best England prospects and will really be the player that takes England to the next level, and Arsenal as well.